Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome. Guy here. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. This is not going to be a long video today because I got a flight to catch. I'm going off to Spokane, Washington today. Direct. There's only two. And I got a basketball game on Thursday. Washington State. You can watch that if you care about that. If not, that's fine. I just want to jump on today because I've been doing stuff every single day, and there was no reason not to continue today. Now, what I will say is this. If you are like this guy who commented on the Tuesday video, this is somebody named John Williams, allegedly. He said, this is the video that John and I did yesterday, the last podcast of the Ham era. He said, can you just talk football? I don't give one shit about anything either of you to personally or professionally. I just fast forwarded to the 34-minute mark, and you're still yammering on about being on radio. That video was called The Haberman and Middlekauff Era Ends. So if you're here for football takes, I guess I could give you some football news, like powerful stuff from Brock Purdy weighing in on the Haberman and Middlekauff era ending when he posted yesterday on Instagram, won together, lost together, did it with my boys, keep the faith. Wow. Thanks, Brock. Means a lot. Otherwise, we'll get back to the normal stuff here. If you've been watching on YouTube or listening, which you can do, either one, descriptions and comments or links in both descriptions. For the last year, obviously, you've noticed things have changed around here a little bit, and now they're changing more. So if you've been on board for the last year, great. Thanks. A lot of that stuff's going to continue. There will be some quick changes. Some of the graphics are going to change. The name is going to change. I don't do a lot of let's launch and here's all the bits and all the segments and all the names and all the colors. And I like to let it happen a little more organically. So we're going to start off, and there's going to be the basic stuff you got to do to the channel and to the podcast, like change the image, change the name. I don't have some crazy name. Maybe I'll call it Hey Guy. Maybe I'll call it Guy Football Focus. Maybe I'll call it the Guy Haberman Podcast, which I really don't want to call it that. As long as I've been in this business in some version, I've always done like the Guy Haberman Show. I've never really particularly liked that, but it's always what I've defaulted to. And for right now, for the purposes of, searching being the same, people on the podcast feed, at least kind of recognizing it's kind of the same thing. It's like an iteration of what they liked before. Then, that'll slowly be changing along. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't have some grand deviation from what's been going on here. Free agency's coming up. The draft is coming up. The stuff that I've been talking about here, if you've followed because the videos you've just seen me do, if you've liked some of the stuff that I've done, then that's what you're going to keep getting here. I think what we'll see, I guess. I think what I'll do, what you, we, me, the collective us, what we'll see happen here in the next few months is more guests. Not every day, but some addition of that, some other voices, that kind of thing here to bounce off of, because I do really like that. I enjoy that. I like doing this where I just talk to you. But I like bouncing off other people too, and so we'll do some of that. I do have to say that Tuesday, March 5th it turned out to be a weirder day than I expected, because I've read a lot of your comments on Twitter and YouTube and Instagram, and I haven't replied probably to most of them, so sorry, but thank you. I've seen a lot of them. I have not read them all because I will, but I got to do it in bits. It's kind of a weird feeling to put something out there like we did yesterday that you've already dealt with. One thing I said during the show yesterday with John was, if it feels like we're laughing and it's light and it's easy, it's because we've already, we've dealt with it. We've been talking about it for a year or whatever, and trying to figure out, how to do it and all that sort of stuff, and kind of soft land it through the season, whatever. But it's a weird feeling to kind of had dealt with something, then put it out there and see other people deal with it. And even though we've been doing it for a long time and we've interacted with a lot of you, some in real life, a lot of you in DMs, comments, Twitter, whatever, and all that, it's still different when like there's just this avalanche of people saying mostly kind things to you. And it's not my preferred place to be in the universe, like talking about, you know, this type of stuff, what it means. Yeah, career announcement, like all that type of stuff. Ugh, I don't particularly like it. It feels always a little self-indulgent. And obviously, in order to build some sort of audience, a connection, we open the doors, get to know each other a little bit. But still, that part of it always feels a little weird. So many of you were surprised. Many of you were not. There was a lot of like, oh yeah. There's a lot of what. So whichever one you were, that's fine. But nothing crazy. Nothing crazy will happen here, and hopefully we'll keep growing. I mean, the reason, and I mentioned this yesterday a little bit, but the reason that this is going to continue here on this YouTube channel, which will then just soon become Guy Haberman, and on the podcast, the reason it will continue is because it's done well. It's continued to do well. When I go back to last year and kind of the spring, when I started just on a regular basis doing stuff solo on this channel, I think it's probably obvious now in hindsight, that was kind of a tester, right? Like, would I want to do it? Would it work? Would you guys like it? Would you consume it? Did I think I could continue to grow it? Would I want to? If you watch anything on YouTube, you can tell kind of the effort that it takes. And so, in the last several months, going back to last spring, almost a year, that's what I've been thinking about with this YouTube channel and with this podcast. And I felt good enough that everybody wouldn't immediately unsubscribe, that here we are, right? So like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the podcast, that type of thing. And it will be different. There's no doubt about that, especially for, the podcast feed, who I think, the podcast has been around a lot longer than the YouTube channel, which has been around since the pandemic. But the podcast is, twice as old basically as the YouTube channel. So, for people who are OG, like podcast listeners, for many years, all you ever heard was the show with just two people. For those of you on the YouTube, maybe you came a lot newer, and maybe if you got here in the last year, you're used to it sometimes just being me. And so for you, maybe less changes. But for the OG people, I know that it probably feels like, a lot more changes. And if you're wondering, will there be now finally a freedom to do wall-to-wall Raiders coverage? Yeah. Definitely. No. We'll see. Maybe a little. I do love it. All right. This is not a long thing today. Gonna need some promo code Guy hats now. Some of the a lot of the promo codes will probably still be ham. I don't know. We'll see. There is some merch. I'm in the early stages of some merchandise. That was fun the first time we did merchandise. So that stuff will be back. I'm working on some stuff there to kind of see like what I think you guys would like, what I would like. I'd have to want to wear it. Some of the old listeners know that once upon a time, pre-YouTube, we used the song Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel in the open. And then what happened, this was a while ago, and then what happened was the show got so big that we didn't want to get, sued or something. We're not like some little show anymore. This is many years ago. We probably shouldn't use licensed music. So to Peter, thank you. But if anyone wants to know, if you don't know that song, Sneaky Sledgehammer. For those of you that know the song, I think this is going to sound crazy until you go listen to it. I think the next Major League Baseball player that uses Sledgehammer, just like the first 20 seconds as his walkout song, is the next guy that's going to get a lot of love for going deep on a walkout song. Sneaky, very good song for that. Quinn says, keep it 49ers. Now you can keep getting other guests on the show. Hope you keep the Tito's plug. It's funny, unrelated to any of this. It's I'd say worse than 50-50 that Tito's is back. That's a development that was pre end of the era. We were very thankful to, as it turned out, a listener initially, Devin, I think I mentioned this yesterday, who worked for Tito's, and we did that deal with him, and he's not at Tito's anymore. So I John and I have talked about this over the years privately, and definitely the last few weeks as we've talked about that deal, which has always been August to January for the last 3-4 years. It's one of the first things people say to us. So I know it was beneficial. I feel good about the value we delivered to Tito's, but we'll see. If not, then we'll need another title sponsor for football season. So, we'll have to, we'll need a sales guy for that. Paul, going to really miss the banter of the relationship. I'll try to hop in on the daily stuff, but really looking forward to when you guys collab in the future. Thank you, Paul. As long as you try, that's all I can ask. Part of doing a lot of stuff is trying to hit different people different times, knowing that not everybody, hits all the time. Garrett, follow you both. So this change won't do much for me. Appreciate your styles. Awesome to see your growth as podcasters. Thank you, Garrett. Dude wipes. Manscaped's on there. Go click on the link in the description. Support the new show. Manscaped.com. Use the code HAM for $20 off and free shipping. Go with real alcohol now, like Crown Angels Envy Bourbon. All right. Samuel says, did you discuss about Chris Jones being a free agent? No, we've not talked about Chris Jones, really. Talked about Jalen Johnson yesterday, who ended up getting tagged. And, now we got a whole other thing to talk about. But I'm not going to dive into too much stuff here because, as I said, not a long video today. Crocky, thank you. I saw your tweet yesterday. That was very, very sweet, very touching. What's funny is somebody, my buddy Pat sent my wife. He said, hey, look at this link. It's on Reddit. So I check them. For those of you who are Niners Redditors, I check the Niners Reddit semi-regularly. And I created a Reddit username like 3 years ago to research standing desks. And I ultimately bought one. And if anyone needs any feedback on standing desks, DM me, I can tell you more. But so I went on the Niners Reddit page yesterday using that username and just said, hey, thanks, guy. And I don't think anybody thought it was actually me. Maybe I'll have to change my username there and get in on that act. Thank you, Hugh. You should reach out to Guys Snacks for a sponsorship. They're a regional chip company around Kansas City. Do you think they want to break into the Bay Area market? It's national too. I mean, we got, international. I hear from you guys all over the world. Guys Chips. I didn't know about that. Hey Behaves, the Guy Haberman show with more Raider guy. The Raiders do still exist. Yeah. A Menahu free agent. Yeah, we'll do some more free agency stuff later. Text Sam, just call it Guy Haberman. I'm glad you kept the channel. Would have sucked getting all those subscribers back. Yeah, no kidding. You guys have been having problems for more than a year. We haven't been having problems. That there have been no problems. It's been, we deal with each other well. It's a good relationship. We're good. Now, it's been different for you. If you wanted one thing and didn't always get it, then I could see how that might have been a problem for you. But no problems. Hey guys, it's Guy. Yeah. This little Hey Guy logo, if you're watching on the YouTube, I think the little peace sign that's actually like a foam finger. I think that'll be, I'm looking at that as the first piece of merch, not a foam finger, but hats with that logo. So tell me, would you wear that? But I got some other ideas too. So super chat from Sean. So do we have to pick between mom and dad? Do you both venture into the marina together? Awkward. Just kidding. Knew it was coming. Will you still collaborate? Enjoy your rants. Be blessed, marina fan. Sean, I've since moved out of Cow Hollow. Technically not the marina, but I'm back in the marina regularly. And yes, we don't have anything like on the calendar, but the plan is definitely to occasionally bring back the bring back the fun together. So please make it a dad hat and not a snapback, says AJ. Damn. My wife just went. That's surprising. Actually, that's information I need. I'm not a dad hat guy just because it does not look good on me. I don't think. So I don't have any hats over here. So I prefer a snapback. But I mean, I guess we could do multiple things. I'd have to do I hadn't thought about that. Do a little market research on what you guys would like. Dad hats versus snapbacks. Won't do fitteds. That's way too hard. If I had to do one, I would do snapbacks because that's what I would wear. Now, sometimes there's different, there's the flat bills. There's like the Richardson 112s, which is more of a regular fit that you guys would be used to. So are you calling the game in Pullman? Yes. Got to go. Off to, I'm also a fan of subtlety. I agree with that, Decoy. I am going to Pullman. I'm going to Spokane right now. Big basketball game. If you guys want to watch it, 6:00 Thursday night Pacific, 6:00 Pacific on FS1. The last Washington State game, the Apple Cup. It's the 299th meeting. I probably will do just a little. I love college basketball, but you'll be getting a lot of the same stuff here, right? So the football you've been used to. That's a philosophy of this channel. Football with some other stuff. A little ratings. But the stuff you've been getting here in terms of content decisions will mostly continue to be the stuff you're going to get here. Okay. I got to go. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for being here in the future. I was happy to see that yesterday the video that we did on YouTube called End of an Era got more subs than unsubs. So we're off to a good start. And yeah, that's that. Nothing dramatic here. We're moving on. We're soldiering on. We're every day, one foot in front of the other. No, come on, get out of here. But thanks for the $4.99. All right, we'll be back. We'll see. I'm going to try and do something Thursday morning from the road, and we'll be in touch. Instagram still there, Twitter still there, podcast, Apple Podcasts. Leave a review, 5 stars. This is your chance to get into the new Guy mailbag. 5-star review, please. That'll help the relaunch. That feed, that feed is just gonna, little graphic will change. Stuff's changed the same. Everything else stays the same. And 5 stars. Leave a question in a review on Apple Podcast, and that'll help out. That'll help out there. This haircut was not by Laz. My guy's on vacation, so I went to another guy yesterday and did a great job. Okay, got to roll. Talk to everybody soon. Thank you. I know you probably have more questions, so I'll have more answers, and we'll keep it rolling.